Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne's Sharp World, where today we got another Kubey on the channel. Today, it is the Kubey KB237, and I refuse to read the rest of whatever the description was for this knife. If you look it up under KB237, you'll be able to find it, and you just don't need to read all the rest. It's too generic. It's too bland for this knife. This knife is anything but bland, and it's a very, very nice piece for the price that it is. Before I get into the price and all the specs, I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you like what you see, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, follow along, and I will continue to pump out the content for you. Now, let's get into the specs on this knife. We have an overall length of 8.27 inches, a blade length of 3.59 inches, a blade width coming in at 1 inch with a blade thickness of 0.13 inches, D2 blade material, kind of whatever, but there it is. We have a very nice Tanto style blade with a flat grind, bead blast finish, 4.68 inches in handle length, with a handle width coming in at 1 inch and a handle thickness at 0.52 inches. Some nice sturdy G10 handle material, right hand only, tip up carry, coming in at 4.72 ounces for a whopping total of $38.99. $38.99 for this. Now, I do have to say one thing about this before we get into anything else. I know I always told you guys I won't clean the knives before I review them, but good Lord, I absolutely had to for this one because this had some gunk crap in it. It literally sounded and felt like there was sand in the bearings, and it wasn't sand. It was actually like a metal shaving with some nasty crud and crap. So I had to be as fair as I could in this review. I really did have to open this one up and clean it. So I did that, and I'm letting you know this before I go into the full review, just so you know. I've said before, opening up and having to clean out a knife isn't the end of the world for me. It's kind of annoying, but I always plan on doing it anyway. But there's that. I had to do it. Now let's go into some size comparisons and take a look at what kind of a knife, how big of a knife we are dealing with here. We have the Spyderco Shaman, and we have the Kaiser Genie. Definitely slimmer handle. Reverse Tanto and Tanto blade. Who knows? I just like the Genie. It hasn't been getting enough episode time, so there it is. And the Shaman, probably a little closer to compare with the ergonomics. By no means are the ergonomics similar, but they're both beefier handles and nice thick blades. And let's get into a couple more here. We've got the Spyderco Smock. And we have another Tanto. We got the Deadpool. We got the Spyderco PM2 Tanto. And the ergos on the PM2 and the Kubey they're not the same, but they're kind of similar. Kind of similar. I gotta say, I know they look wildly different, but in hand, this is one of the closer comparisons I have when it comes to just straight up ergos on the knife. And then the Smock also just makes for a very good comparison in length and overall size and width. So there's those two. And let's pull out two more. We got the Giant Mouse Ace Grand, which is, I feel like I underrate this knife. I don't carry it enough, and I love it. I absolutely love it. But it hasn't had a lot of pocket time lately. And the Microtech SOCOM Elite, easily one of my all-time favorite knives. Easily. Absolutely love that guy. And there you go. Considerably longer. Two more knives with beefy handles and working blades. So a lot of different aspects to compare when you're looking at comparisons. Obviously, this was just for size, but I think you guys have a good idea of that now. Now, let's get into this blade, because it is a very attractive Tanto. I really love the fact that there is just a little bit of belly here. A lot of Tantos are just straight lines, so I like seeing that little bit of belly, and then a nice straight line at the tip with a pretty nice solid tip. Yeah, that could definitely hold up to some rather heavy-duty tasks. Really like the fuller on this. I think the fuller adds a lot of character to it, along with the harpoonish swedge here. Not the swedge doesn't come to be super thin, but the lines still make it extremely noticeable, and the fuller is done, in my opinion, just right. Just right. I would have never thought to put, that's why I don't design knives, but I would have never thought to put a fuller there, and I wouldn't have thought it looked good, but it looks fantastic. So Kubey's really doing some interesting things in the design lab over there. Effective, but not aggressive jimping on the tab and spine. Again, definitely feel it, but won't turn your thumbs to hamburger meat. So that's a good thing. And a very nice finger choil. This, to me, this knife is best when you have it in this grip right here. Got your knife along, your index finger in the finger choil up here, and your middle finger right there under the flipper tab, and it just feels great. Feels great, very secure, and this is definitely a budget knife that I would consider a very, rather, I wouldn't say very, but definitely heavy-duty use knife. I mean, I guess you can try and make any knife super heavy-duty, heavy user. I think you could definitely do that with this. Going down to the handles and ergos, what makes it even stronger are some very nice fully recessed liners in there. As you can see, there's also some milling. There's 1, 2, 3 holes of milling up there to reduce a little weight, but still keep the strength in there with those steel liners. Very solid lockup under the blade and easy access to the liner lock. This is a very stiff liner lock. You got to push rather hard to get that down. Drops down very nicely, but that's one of the things. I don't know if I necessarily hate it, because, I mean, you want a super solid lockup. You don't want a weak liner lock. So I'm not really complaining about it. I guess I'm just pointing out the fact that this is one of the stronger liner locks I've ever had to disengage on a knife. So let it be known that is that. One thing I really don't like about this is this pivot screw here. And I didn't know this on the other Kubey that I reviewed a day or two ago, because I hadn't disassembled that one yet. But this is a free spinning pivot, and because of this Kubey symbol here, you gotta, I didn't do it on this. I guess I was to the point where I just didn't care. I just wanted to get it clean and put back together. But you have to position the pivot where you want here, hold it here, then go back and tighten it. And maybe you want to assume there's going to be a little movement, so purposely off-center it when you go to tighten it, and then, you know, it'll hopefully line up. This one obviously didn't line up, so now it just, you know, it doesn't look as, you know, the rounded part should be facing that way, so you can see KB in the handle, or either this way. Regardless, either way you want to look at it, it's completely screwed up now. So next time I disassemble it, I'll fix that. I'm not going to waste my time doing that right now, because well, we'll wait till we get into the action, because I have no reason to disassemble it now, because the action is running just fine. But more than anything, too, I also like the flattening here. The flattening on the scales kind of adds a little extra unique look there, and it feels pretty good in hand. A pretty decent carry clip. Deep, fully recessed, except the screw there. As you can see, the screw there, yeah, it's sticking up probably a little more than you'd want. I didn't really have a problem with it catching on my hems, but to be totally honest with you guys, I've been wearing basketball shorts for like the past 3 days. I've been home from work, and I just haven't had the initiative to put on real pants lately. So I've just been walking around in shorts, been carrying this in shorts. A little heavy for shorts, but I've never been one to really care about what I'm carrying around the house, or when I walk down to town to get something from the gas station. So I kind of just was wearing basketball shorts. So in jeans, you may feel that catch your jean pocket. But again, there's more space here than it looks on the camera. It's always kind of hard to tell margins like that when you're looking at it on a video, but I don't think it's going to give you too many fits. And I like the hole there to make it obviously easy to take off. And it's also a rather simple clip with enough ramp to get over most hems, pretty much all hems. So that's a very good thing as well. On to the action of this guy. The action is fantastic. Once I cleaned it, pushes right out. It's a thicker blade, so it flies out just fine. I cannot use the fuller. I'm not even going to try and humiliate myself, but I do struggle with getting that fuller. I think the fuller is there more for just aesthetics than anything else. But man, every time I flip that blade out, I really like to just look at it because it is a beautiful blade design, and maybe not the thinnest edge in the world. I actually didn't take the calibers to this one, but it sure doesn't feel super thin. But at the same time, neither are hinderers, and people still have them and they love them. So this is going to take care of any EDC task just fine for you. But no, you can light switch it, or you can push it, and it's going to come out just fine. And I don't know why I pushed the blade down there, because it shakes shut just fine. Very nice on closing it. Very easy to do. I guess I just wasn't thinking there. But yeah, comes down just fine. Very nice action. Again, all in all, it's another solid offering by Kubey. I would say they're 3 for 3, but since this came to me as kind of a dirty mess and I had to open up and clean it, I'm still going to say it's good. I would definitely give it for $38.99. It's got my approval, 2 thumbs up. I would recommend this. I would recommend Kubey in general to anyone. Kubey's really come on to me lately. I've been a big fan of the 3 knives that I've now had from them. And for the under $40 price range, they may be the first company I'd recommend at this point. I've got 2 knives now under $40 from them, and they're both absolutely fantastic. One considerably smaller, and another one being this one, which is definitely, I would consider this a larger knife. With 3.59 inches blade length, I think it's definitely easy to consider this a larger knife. One thing I didn't mention, no blade play whatsoever, but the blade is just slightly off-centered a little. It looks a lot worse on camera. That actually may look a little, it's definitely favoring the show side, but it's not touching it by any means. If you look, the tip actually looks perfectly centered, but it is just the actual beef of the blade is favoring the show side a little. Not the end of the world. It's not going to touch it or rub it, so I'm okay with it for a $39 knife. It's whatever. It just is what it is. But very nice offering from Kubey. Under $40, absolutely good to go. Again, another Kubey doing good things. I just hope I don't have to clean the next one. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and until that next one, I'm out.